Well, here we
Hello.
are. Hang on, let me take these comments off. I need to do something. 1 second. Why isn't his camera displaying? Coach Russ, we've got you on. Right, let me do the introduction and we'll figure out what's going on with the camera. Welcome, folks. What a week 5 was for some of us. Some of us, not so much. Coach Russ, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Right, why are you not displayed there? Let me have a little look. That's why. Boom, there we go. Got him. How you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm good. Good evening, all. How are you doing?
Oh, living the dream, mate. Living the dream. I tell you what, we'll start the show off at how we usually do it. In fact, no, Lee, you wanted to say a few words, a little introduction.
I tell you what, I'll do it after the catch up on the guys. I'll do it after the catch up with the guys.
Okay. We're going to start at the not at the bottom, by no means least. Coach Russ, what have you been up to this week? Enjoying football?
Unfortunately, I didn't catch the games last weekend, and I was really busy. So tonight is going to be a little bit of a learning curve for me regarding catch up on last weekend's game. So, but other than that, I'm just looking forward to tonight's game. I'm staying up for this one tonight. So.
Yeah, we'll divulge into that later, but I'm really looking forward to seeing some Giants knocking down some Eagles. Steve, what's going on? How are you, mate? You okay? Good weekend? Good birthday week?
Yeah, it's been all good. Yeah, I thought you all had a birthday within the last week.
Yeah, right. That was really weird. It was all of our birthdays last week. For anyone that doesn't know, and I'm sure we were all had a great time. But all good.
Yeah, all good. Yeah. Can do lots of writing, lots of football.
Good. Lee, what about yourself?
Just still getting involved with this with my academy stuff.
Yes, seen lots of good stuff on socials.
Yeah. So it's all going great. We've sort of nearly maxed out all our coaches. So I've got for an academy, for an under-19s academy, I've nearly got a full complement of coaches. So which is absolutely awesome. So yeah, it's been brilliant. Been brilliant for the sort of the people turning out for it.
Yeah, good. Well, I had a brilliant birthday. I was away.
Went to Wales, didn't you? Went
to Wales. Caravan with the dog, and the mother-in-law, and of course the wife. For anyone who doesn't know, I've got a little French bulldog called Frank, and he wore his first ever Denver Broncos jersey. And the week he wins it, wears it. The week we win it. Do you know what? I posted it in. I don't know if because obviously I'm a Bronco. I obviously know your guys' teams, but I'm in a few Denver Broncos groups, pages and stuff like that. So I posted a video of Frank, like first time he's ever won it, and we beat the Eagles. I got so many aggressive. You've got to do that next week, otherwise it's your fault we get beaten. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll do it. Just chill, just chill.
Superstitious people.
Just chill. Lee, I know you prepared a little statement.
Okay, right. This comes, from the heart. This does. So it is with my deepest regret that I am addressing this podcast about the recent loss of this undefeated Super Bowl bound team. I know I, as well as many of the Sport Tank followers, backed the team whose unprecedented loss shocked the league. If the Celine Dion thing was not trade right published, I'd be doing the Titanic theme music right now. Carry on, mate.
Get one out.
This weekend of football has been wild, and underdogs who had no place in sniffing a win against teams shockingly won. I want to be open and honest with all the listeners and my co-hosts. I want to be the bigger person and congratulate the team who travelled to a hostile stadium and brought their A game. Although the score only tells you
AI's helping him write this. I'm not chatting.
This is all from the heart. It doesn't tell you how close the game actually was. Back and forth, these warriors battled on sacred ground. The home team and the crowd silenced as the opposing team dominated the final seconds. Then that was it. Final whistle, undefeated, no more. Now, here's where I want to be honest. I secretly wanted the underdog team to win. Before you jump in, let me explain why. Teams are under pressure week in, week out to maintain that status of being undefeated. And it also puts a large target on the backs from other teams. So now they have their loss. I feel.
Is this a statement or a movie?
A movie.
Okay.
Happy to back them all the way to the Super Bowl. And finally, for the winning team, I applaud you for your grit, determination you showed in this fight for survival. You moved to 3-2, and I would like to hear from you, my co-hosts, on how you view this game. I know one of you will have more to say than the other, so I'll start with Steve on how you think this post-undefeated teams moves forward against their horrific, embarrassing home loss to the New England Patriots.
Oh,
that was good.
Kudos. Right, we are going to get onto that one, but we do have to crack on. Right, let's look. Lock up your fantasy football leagues. Make sure your teams are ready. We're going to talk about week 5 first. There was some shockers. There was some business being done, and there was just what we were expecting. So let's start it off with the first game. So we had the LA Rams against the 49ers. All three of us backed the Rams, as well as 87% of the public vote. We were all wrong. 49ers won it 26-23. We're going to start off with our guest host. And what were your thoughts on it, Coach?
Well, I didn't back the 49ers. I didn't see them even coming out and scoring 10 points. So this one was a bit of a shock to me. And the Rams have been doing really well. They've got great offense. I've always liked their style of offense and stuff, and they just collapsed. It just all collapsed on them. So
yeah.
So that's my thought. So with 49ers, if they're they're obviously starting to get things together there and starting to building that team camaraderie and stuff, and starting to believe in themselves a bit. And let's see what happens further down in the season. They could be a shock.
Yeah, they're always a good team, but they're not the perfect setup. You always expect them to be there usually in the playoffs, but for me, I don't know. Let's go to Steve, and we've got Steve. Go on, mate. What were your thoughts on this one?
Well, this first of all was the start of my worst week of picks. I didn't even get 50% correct. But
I expect that being a Raiders fan.
I just don't understand I don't know what the Niners are doing. They're making really mediocre quarterbacks look decent. Doesn't seem to matter who plays quarterback. And CMC is not even getting that involved. There's something going on somewhere. I don't understand how they did it.
Well, it's an interesting one because they've got another hard game this week where they've been. Well, I can't ruin what everyone's picked, but it's yeah. There's no consistency from him. I want to see more before I say I can see them in the playoffs, because in a few weeks' time, I want us to be saying, right, we're halfway there. Who do we think is going to make the playoffs? Do you get what I mean? Yeah. But no, 1-score game, very close game. Lee?
Yeah, I mean, it was unprecedented. It's one of those victories that you were just like, how did that happen? They haven't got their starting lineup. They haven't got Kittle. They haven't got Brock. Juwan Jennings wasn't playing. There was just so many players just missing from that starting lineup, and it was just like, how did they defeat a really good Rams team? So, yeah, it was kudos to them. Great win.
I would say foreshadowing wise as well, it shows a coaching difference that you can have so many injuries and still win. Before we throw to that game, but.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of teams are dealing with injuries. I think it's hard at this level of contact to not deal with it. God, we've seen Miami had the worst possible injury happen. The Bengals, it's one of them. But bigger and better teams cope with that to a certain extent. We're going to move on to the next game, which was. I got to watch quite a good chunk of this game. It was actually really, really back in two. The Browns versus the Vikings. I picked the Browns. I thought they'd do it. Shock horror. I was wrong again. 60% of the public, Lee and Steve, picked the Vikings. And the Vikings won 21-17. It was a good game. It was good to watch. I think this one was in London as well.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
And there's a massive Vikings, obviously, fan base over here. But yeah, good little win. Again, one score. I like games like this. They make it interesting. I say I like games like this. I don't when it comes to my team because I'd rather us win by about 14 points. But the neutral game, I like it. I think it was good. Lee, what did you? Oh, by the way, did anyone watch the Channel 5 coverage?
Unfortunately,
I
sir.
did watch it. Yeah, I did. It was quite good.
I like it. It's grown on me.
Yeah.
I think you could, I think there's things you could tweak. Coach Russ, I don't know if you've watched it. I do recommend it. Don't think it's too bad, and it means kids who can't afford, a subscription
Sky
of whatever.
Sports, yeah.
Yeah. I'm all for that. Okay, Lee, what were your thoughts on the game, mate?
I mean, like I say, I backed the Vikings. I just think, with this quarterback changing around with the Browns, I just don't think they had the right mentality for it. Although they had a great performance, I just fancied the Vikings a little bit better. They had that slight advantage where they've been in Europe already for a week before.
Yeah.
And they had some scores to settle from losing against the Steelers. So that's all I've got to say on that one.
Cool. Steve?
Well, I mean, if you fancy casting your mind back a few weeks when I said the Vikings were undefeated internationally, they do remain undefeated in London. They're 4-0 in London. So maybe they're just good in London and nowhere else. So that's why I backed them. My favourite thing that came out of that game was Addison was benched for the first quarter because he missed the walkthrough and then went and scored the winning touchdown when he was allowed back on.
I think that's part of the ego, though. If you perform to that certain standard at any, thing like anything like this, you're gonna have an ego. And when someone tries to put you down a step, you're like, I'm coming back up 2 steps further. Seen it all the time. Okay, Coach Russ.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to see the game, but I did back the Vikings. I mean, they seem to be quite consistent at the moment, and like you said, Matteo, they've got a great following over here in the UK, and absolutely huge.
Massive,
So that to them, being a home game, or effectively a home game, really pushed them over the edge and to make sure they got that win.
I have a question for all three of you. I think all your comments are spot on. And I want this to be a very short question because I don't want to diverge away from week 5. When are we getting the London team?
Hopefully.
How can you turn this into a short one?
I want a short, brief answer. And Lee, I'm going to give you time to think last. So, Coach Russ, when are we going to get a London team? What are your thoughts? Keep it below 30 seconds if you can.
Okay, it was supposed to be the Jags, wasn't it? We've been waiting God knows how many years for that. I don't think we're going to get a London-based team for at least 5 to 10 years. I don't think it's going to happen unless this game really takes off. And they're obviously adding each year. They're trying to add some international games, and now they're spreading out around the world with the international games. So that I think it will detract from having a home team in the UK.
Okay, Steve.
I think it needs to happen within 3 to 5 years, or very much like Coach Rush just said, this is sort of going to be lost in the sense of it's going to be everywhere. If it's not 28, 29, I can't see it happening.
Okay, Lee.
Okay, here's my theory. Okay,
Lee, you got 30 seconds, mate. You haven't got 8 minutes left before me. You just told me that.
Oh no. Right, the NFL are expanding around the world. Okay, they're going to Australia, they're going to Brazil, South America. They're going everywhere. Okay, you'll find out there's going to be 8 locations that they're playing in. Those 8 locations, there will be a new NFL team established in those locations, making the league 40 team league. That's my theory.
Okay. My answer, by the way, folks, is 5 years. Within 5 years, something will be announced that they'll be starting in a year or two after that. That's my guess, because we're only guessing. We're only guessing just like you lot are guessing for these results. Right, we're going to move on. I'm not going to divergence that too much longer. Okay, so look, we're just gonna skip over this one really quickly because we all expecting it, and it was an absolute awful game to watch. The Jets, for some reason, I must have been really drunk when I picked the Jets, and the Jets got absolutely spanked by the Cowboys, 37-22. It was way bigger head of a score than that. Cowboys were putting second starters on, third starters on. I think one of the cheerleaders went on at one point. The Jets just absolutely awful. My highlight of the season for the Jets will be the dance. I don't know if anyone's seen it. If you haven't, where have you been? Awful. I don't. Anyone got anything else to say on it? It was awful. Move on. Let's
Nope.
move on. Okay, the team with the world's ugliest kit, the Saints, they changed the kit colour. They wore the different strip. What happened? They won. 26-14 against the Giants. No one was expecting that. 96% of the public backed the Giants, as well as us three. The 4% of the people that were on magic mushrooms, their magic wishes came true, and they won. I watched this game. I was confused to what was going on with the Giants. The Saints just look like a complete different team from the others. I don't know if it's because they're not wearing that kit that makes you want to throw up. Lee, you're up, mate. Go.
Where do we start? You know,
Well,
it was.
You didn't have to vomit because of the kit.
The vomit, absolutely. My fear is coming true. That Dart is a one-hit wonder. He's not going to materialize. Scatterboo is he had his highlight, and now he's someone described him as a flare. He's gonna shine really bright, and then he's gonna dwindle out into nothing. And that's a perfect sort of quote of that. You know, it's I can't see how this Giants team is going to move forward without a wide receiver one. I just don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah, I think they're going to turn up tonight, though. But we'll talk about it later. Steve, Steve, what were your thoughts, mate?
Honestly, it's another game that baffled me. This whole week, whoever's writing the script for the NFL this year, I don't know what they're taking.
Listen, they wrote a great Week 5 script, but we're going to get to that in about 4 games.
But no, Scatterboo is just—I think he's just a genuine psychopath. Did anyone see him take out a 260-pound defender? As if he wasn't there.
Yeah, he just pancaked him.
Okay. Coach Russ, did you any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, absolutely. Turnovers. Yeah, 4 turnovers in the game. That sealed it for the Saints. That's the bottom line.
Discipline.
Yeah, we've got to get better. We've got to get tighter. And like I say, we'll talk about the game later. But there is some news coming out of the Giants camp that I can enlighten some people about as well.
Yeah, well, we want this now. Breaking news, go.
Okay. Dart has got a minor injury to his shoulder. He might not start. Stop smiling, Lee. Darius Slayton is out. But we have got I can't remember his name coming back in.
Russell Wilson.
No. I don't think it's going to be Russell Wilson. And
backup QB to
have.
They've got Winston. Jameis Winston.
And the Giants fan base with trying to get OBJ back has all fallen flat on its backside because he has got a 6-game ban for performance enhancing drugs that he hasn't served yet. So whatever team he joins, he starts with a 6-game ban. So there you go.
How do you get banned when you're not even playing? I forgot that happened.
I think this was from last year.
Yes.
I think some of these like sport athletes, even though they've got these god unique talents, are just stupid and they make stupid decisions. But good on the league for doing something about it. Okay, we're going to skip over the next few results before we go to the big one. 88% of the public, and all 3 of us backed the Colts to beat the Raiders. Why? Because the Raiders are awful and it's brilliant. 40 points to 6. 88% of the public, so 12% of the public who voted for the Raiders are clearly Raiders fans. How dare you? It was what was to be expected. The next one was more of one of the closer games of the week. Myself and Lee backed the Panthers to beat the Dolphins. 27-24, very close game, unlike the Raiders, who are awful. Just like to remind everyone, 58% of the public voted for the Panthers. It's kind of a game between two poor teams who we're not going to be expecting to see in the playoffs. Let's get to the next game. Let's take our time with this one. 57% of the public backed the Eagles. How dare they? As well as our colleague Lee.
He looks like he's a bit ill. He might leave.
I'll bring them back. Don't worry. The Denver Broncos. Me and Steve picked. And 43% of the smart public backed the Broncos to win, 21-17. Look, this was a great game. It was highly entertaining. I've seen that many memes about it this week. Look, Broncos are my team. I think Broncos, if you look at them 2 losses they've had, last minute field goals, we're not in a bad position at all. Me and Steve were talking about this league. Can 3 teams go up in the playoffs from this league? Obviously, 1 and 2 wildcards. If any league's going to do it, it's going to be this one. But no, it was a good game, backwards and forwards. I won't lie, and Lee can back this. I was very, very nervous in that third quarter, and I had my phone kept on pinging, and it was Lee going, ha ha, another touchdown, ha ha, another touchdown. Then he went very quiet. Then he went very, very quiet, and the goddamn Denver Broncos won the game. But for me, I think the Eagles gave away the game. Discipline's so important in football. Them penalties, they rack up. It wasn't the refs. There's that many cameras and challenges you can do. You know, it's not like that. But great game. Lee, we're going to come to you last. So, Coach Russ, I believe you enjoyed this game because you're not a fan of the Eagles. So I'm going to let you go first.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love the result of this game. I mean, the games that are going on this year, a lot of them are getting won in the last 2 minutes of the games. Are absolutely crucial, and some teams are winning that they got no business to win in the last 2 minutes of a game, but they're doing it. So, Broncos, their defense obviously stout, and like you said, discipline with the Eagles. They've got to be sharp when they're playing decent defenses, and they obviously didn't have enough.
Broncos defense record this season for me is unmatched, sacks wise especially. But throughout that whole defense, for me, Broncos have a really good. Our defense is much better than our offense. Defense wins games. But no, I agree with you there. Steve, this might be painful for you because you don't like either team. So you're up next, mate.
The thing is, yes, I'm not a big fan of either team, but I think I've made it quite clear that I almost dislike the Eagles as much as the Raiders at the moment. But this is the first game that I'm pretty sure that the Broncos have trailed in the fourth quarter all season. And even though you've got losses, that's because the clock hit double zeros when the field goals were kicked through. So you didn't trail in that quarter; you just lost it. 18 points in the fourth quarter, though. That's what it was. It was all the fourth quarter, man. That's all it was.
I don't think it was the Eagles taking the foot off the gas. I just think it was just football, just the way it happens. There was no panic plays from the Broncos. I felt we kind of kept calm with it. And when we went for that 2-pointer, I was like, "What are you doing?" But it worked. Right, Lee, the violin is out. When you're ready, mate, go.
So, it was a fantastic game. Let's put that down there straight away. It was a fantastic game. The Broncos deserve to win that. To come back from that deficit and to win a game, hats off. It was well deserved. The Eagles have got a lot of reflection to do they've had a lot of reflection over the last few days, I'm sure. And they're probably going to want to go into MetLife this week and put things back to right and walk away with a win. But I wasn't lying when I said we to have that much pressure on your back to be undefeated.
Oh, definitely. We said this last week. You'll take a loss, and it hurts to say that because although you'll have some idiot fans who go, no, let's go the whole season undefeated. If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. Not everyone can do it. So yeah, it does take that add a bit of pressure, that add a bit of eye view. You know, if you're undefeated, teams are going to be going harder against you just to try and prove a point, not get a win, but be that team to stop them being undefeated. You know, I agree.
Here's a
I
question.
thought it was. Go on.
I was going to say, so what's harder, trying to stay undefeated, or the unlucky teams that were given a week 5 bye on an 18-week season? Because the drag now to the rest of the end of that season is long. That is a long drag.
I don't know, mate. I'd say, yeah, well, right. 13 weeks without a break is pretty insane, but that's what they train for all year, mate. They get paid multi-million-pound year contracts. If you pay me multi-million-pound year contracts, I play football every week. Don't know if it'd be good, but I play it every week. Like, right, we're going to move on. We're a bit pushed for time, so we're going to briefly go by some results. The Ravens, I haven't got a clue what is going on. Have they got the worst defense in the league? Potentially just behind the Raiders. I don't get it. Every week I've picked the Ravens, and I think I've done it again this week actually. But the Ravens got battered 44-10 by the Texans. The only person to pick the Texans was Steve. Steve, just there quickly, just only Steve in this one. What you're our stats guy. What's going on?
Well, yes, they have conceded the most points, and up until this week, they'd also been like the top 3 scoring every week. But then all of a sudden, going into and leaving that Chiefs game, they lost a load of players. So many key players. They lost Lamar, they lost Roquan. But their defense was bad before, as I said anyway, the week before the Chiefs game. I said that they were going to sit weirdly, play a weird zone. I predicted we would just rip them apart. And we did. And they didn't really change anything and then got more injuries. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen when they get Lamar Jackson back. Because Derrick Henry's not really helping at the moment either.
Yeah. Okay. Right, let's try and skip these next few games. Right, the next game was sorry, I don't think we can skip the next game. Oh my God, what the hell? The Cardinals against the Titans. We all backed the Cardinals because we're not stupid. Then we were proven to be stupid because the Titans won 22-21. Has anyone watched the highlights from this game, or did anyone watch this game? This was absolutely bizarre. Who watched it?
I watched it. And you can't write it. You honestly cannot write the amount of mistakes that happened in this game. Dropping the ball as you're crossing the goal line.
Yeah. And do you know what's even better? There's a new Netflix series that's just come out. Sorry, Disney series just come out, and it's about a guy being a catfish, starting college football again because he got dropped for every team for dropping. So as soon as I seen that, I was like, "That's great marketing for that." Right, we're going to move on, but I'd highly recommend everyone to watch the highlights from that one. We'll skip this one too. Buccaneers had a very entertaining game against the Seahawks. In that game, Lee and Steve were right. They picked the Bucs, and it was 38-35. 75% of the public backed that. The Bengals got beat again. The curse of having no QB. 100% of the public backed the Lions, and the Lions won 37-24. We're going to skip one more, and then we'll talk about last two. We are struggling for time. The Chargers. 63% of the public at all 3 pundits backed the Commanders. The Chargers to win. There was no spark on that one. The Commanders absolutely spanked them 27-10. Not even close. Some really close-knit games, but some of them it was expected to be business, especially with the Lions. The only shock there for me was the major shock was the Commanders. So after that, 94% of the public backed the Bills to beat the Patriots. For me, this was a shock of the week because, let's be honest, as much as the Patriots, as annoying as the fan base can be, that's a brilliant result for them, I think. 23-20. The only person to back the Bills was Lee. Not like you to be wrong, Lee. Myself and Steve, we picked the Patriots. Don't ask me why. I must have been drinking a lot of red wine. But we're going to go to Coach Russ. What were your thoughts on this one? Great win this for the Pats at a very important part of the season.
Well, I picked the Bills. I just thought they were just going to be too overwhelming for the Pats. And, tight game, yes, but the Pats pulled it off. And it's, this is what if football was a perfect game, it would be boring, right? So
yes,
so mistakes are going to be made.
yeah.
Coaches are making some decent calls, time management, the whole works, and they managed to scrape the win through. So well done to the Pats.
Okay. I don't agree. Sorry, I don't disagree with anything that you said there, mate. I just think that's a very big win for the Pats at this point of the season. Their fans will always like to think that they're in it with the current team. A lot of people would say no, but it's a great win against a really good Bills team. Steve, you're up, mate.
Well, as I've been saying all season, this particular season seems a bit messed up. So as you can tell, I went Broncos and Pats. I somehow had a feeling that no one was going to be undefeated into week 6.
Yeah.
I didn't really watch much of the game. Again, yeah, the Pats pulled it off. They did well. At this point, I start to run numbers and stats and ideas in my head rather than potential actual what could happen.
Yeah.
And I just got lucky on 2 picks there. I kind of wish I put money on that, Broncos and Pats to win.
Hey, Broncos should have been well low odds, mate. That was everyone knew that was going to happen. Okay, and on to our Eagles. Lee.
Do you know what? I mean, for the fact that the Bills lost the same week as the Eagles, it couldn't have been better because, I mean, my power rankings, this week, I've been harsh on the Jags for so long, having them.
What about the Broncos? You've got the Broncos 8th.
Yeah, but that's where they are right now. That's where just
carry on, mate. Sorry.
And it's I couldn't get behind the Jags at all. Throughout this period, but the Patriots obviously coming in to the Bills. It's just the whole league's just been on its head this week. So the fact that the Bills lost, was a godsend because otherwise, they'll be the only undefeated team. But yeah, there is no undefeated teams now, so that pressure's off for everyone. We're back to good football.
Yeah. So talking about good football, let's talk about the next results. And this one made me smile. And Steve looks like he's in pain already. He's run away. Right. So me and my expert wisdom, I backed the Jags to beat the Chiefs. And did the Jags beat the Chiefs? Yes, they did. They won 31-28. 30% of the public also seen sense and backed me and the Jags. I do anything with the Jags? No, I don't. So yeah, 31-28. This was a brilliant game. And it just ended with the most mental chicken oriental touchdown. I don't know if anyone's seen it. The right guard steps on the QB's foot. He then falls over but only lands on one leg, so both legs haven't touched. He falls over again and lands on the same leg, so again both legs haven't touched. He then gets up, limps over and gets a touchdown, and you're like, how's that happen? But yeah, it just suits this week where loads of shock things have happened. So Steve, you're going to be last on this one. Lee, what were your thoughts, mate? Try and keep it quick. We are 4 minutes over.
Yeah, Jags deserve the win. They pulled it back and they absolutely deserve the win, especially in there as well. Look pretty good.
It's a make or break year for the Jags because there's a lot of players. If it doesn't work for me, that they'll be like, right, we need to cut our losses and kind of move forward. Coach Russ, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, crazy ending, absolutely crazy. And I saw a thing very quickly. Coach Andy Reid said that on that play they had no hustle in their legs, the defense, to stop that play. They had nothing. So he wasn't very happy.
Yeah, I seen a clip where I think it's the defensive tackle.
Chris James.
He can see that he can see that the play's running left, and he's at the other end. But if he did tried, he'd have got to it. That's the mad thing of how long it took them to get the ball over the line. He's getting pulled into an office, made to watch that footage 10 times, and yeah, it was bad. Steve, try and polish it. What did you think, mate?
Yeah, I mean that was what I was going to bring up. Was Chris Jones on that last touchdown? He's one of our best defensive players, and he sort of just gave up, and you could see it. I really enjoyed Nick Bolton. I think our defense with Nick Bolton at the helm actually played fairly decent. Obviously, other than a result. But props, especially to is it Devin Lloyd, the Jags' longest pick six in history, 99 yards. I give him props to that. It's
For a
hard to do
linebacker,
that.
that's not bad.
Yeah.
I'd have run it quicker. Anyway, that was week 5. A week full of shocks, a week full of results that we expected. So, Coach Russ, we're on to you, mate. I want to know what you do in the football world, in the Brit Ball community, and then we'll ask you some more questions. So, tell us a bit about yourself.
Sure, yeah. I've been involved in football since 1989. I started playing in Cornwall, moved up to the London area, went back to Cornwall, played with them, played for teams. Started coaching in. I got my coach certificate in 2011, but I officially started being a coach in 2014. I was with the Hertfordshire Cheetahs for several years, and then took a year out of football. Really needed a year out of football. Did some commentary for Sport Tank on some of the Cheetahs games, which was great. And then decided to go back to the old team and coach at the old team I used to play at the Cats. Had 2 stints there. As originally, I went to just go and coach as a running backs coach. I'm an offensive line coach, but the position was already taken at the time. And then I got shifted to D-line coach, which I found fantastic. And then last season, the end of that season, I was interviewed and head coach vacancy, and now I'm the head coach of the Cambridge Cats. First year last year, I must say it was quite a difficult season for everybody involved. Back then, it was we had a lot of people leaving prior to the season through retiring and moving away and stuff like that. So recruitment we didn't do too well on, and we suffered throughout the season with player numbers. But we're now back in the game. We're back recruiting. We've got our taster sessions on the 19th and 26th of this month, 10:30 at Coldham's Common. If anybody is interested, have a look at our socials. It's all up on our socials, Instagram, the whole lot. Really looking positive for next season. There's a possible move to a better ground. I'm not allowed to say where at the moment.
Whoa! You can't give us. You can't do. You can't do that. That's like saying to someone, "I've got something to tell you," and they go, "What?" And you go, "I'll tell you later."
Okay, I spoke to our GM today, and I have got specific instructions not to say where, but we are in talks with a local decent rugby club in the Cambridge area. We've had several meetings there, and it's just a case of dotting the I's and crossing the T's. But until that happens, then we can't announce it officially.
Is it Cambridge Rugby Club?
No.
Is it Cambridge University Rugby Union Football Club?
That's
no.
We got him! Right, okay. We won't say no more. Leave it at that.
No, you haven't got me. I'm a bit more diligent than that. No. If there's an announcement, it will happen hopefully pre-Christmas.
Well, please do let us know. Look, obviously I do the Monday night show with the Brit Ball scene, and I could tell it was a challenging year last season.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But you learn from that. You learn who the characters are, the people who deserve the captaincy. I think my one criticism of a lot of clubs is they'll give the captaincy to the person that they believe is the best player, but not the one who's going to speak up for the people who aren't. You see it all the time. There's certain characters that you need as captains because they'll be the voice of the club. They'll be picking the team up. They'll see things the coach won't see and try and help. And I'm sure you've done that. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I think next year Brit Ball's going to be. Hopefully it's brilliant. Hopefully there's no teams folding. I think last year was pretty well on that. And yeah, you 1989. I was born in 89. So yeah, that's not to make you feel old, pal, but
it does. I was running a ball as a
I'll
fullback.
be born and retired. I was retired there, by the way. Okay, so right, just so folks are aware, next week we've got a player rep from Lee Miners joining us. You can come on the show, contact one of us or Sport Tank. We would love to have you on. Love to know what your team is doing next season, when your rookie days are, what your plans are, so on and so forth. Right, let's get on to week 6. Week 6, for me, it's still, there's still that an opportunity for teams who are, if they've only won 2 games to kind of get back into it. But there's teams like the Ravens that I'd never write off. But let's go through it. Let's start off with a dead easy one for all of us. The Giants playing tonight against the Eagles. 66% of the public have backed the Giants. What on earth? Yes, I agree, Lee. What drugs have they been taking? Anyway, myself and I've backed the Giants. I think the Giants are going to do it. Why? Because I dislike the Eagles? No, of course it's not that. I just think the Eagles are still going to be hurting, and there's such a short space of time from that game to this game. We're going to start off with Coach Russ, and I want to hear some power. I want to hear some love.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something that's happening with the Giants. Obviously, I mentioned earlier about some of the injuries and stuff, and the lack of potential positive receiver core at the moment. But the not only just the fan base, but the locker room in MetLife is everybody's on and up. I mean, defense are playing phenomenal defense at the moment. We're just getting a little bit unlucky towards the tail end of games. But tonight, we've got to do it. That 12th man in MetLife is going to be so crucial to get over the line against the Eagles. And I don't care what Lee says; he can talk about everything, but our defense. Once we sack Jalen Hurts for a few times, let's see how he plays after that. Okay.
He didn't do many runs at all on the weekend, did he? That was brought up, so I don't know if there's an injury because his injury
Lee's not going to like this, but I've seen on social media that they're classing Jalen Hurts as a mediocre quarterback. Not that you
can I just ask, just to clarify, because this will tell me if that list is a good list. Are they saying that Bo Nix is a fantastic quarterback?
I don't know what they're saying about Bo Nix.
Because if they are, then it's right. It's absolutely right. Right, Steve, you're up, mate. This one's going to interest you.
I'm going Eagles. Yes, it's a short week, but I think they're going to come with some fire.
Listen, Eagles. Look, you can back the Eagles. I'm just going to amend this sheet now. I think it's too because they. I don't know. I think the Giants are going to do it. I mean, look, I'd love. I mean, I've been proven wrong every now and again, and Lee's going to absolutely grill me after this call. But for me, I don't know. If there was any time for them to go on, every team goes on a sloppy run. This is their time. So
can I also just say I love the idea of breaking down our entire format by saying I don't care what Lee says.
There was right for a 6-minute rant before. Right, on that note, Lee, you're up. Silence.
Right.
From the Giants.
Right.
Okay. So
I'm Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert. I think there's 5 reasons there why we all know the Eagles are going to win.
Are you that confident the Eagles are going to win?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I am 100% confident.
Okay. So I'm looking for.
I tell you what. Here it is. Right. If the Giants win this game tonight,
Don't do it.
I will take that jersey Russ is wearing now, and I will wear it to next week's show.
I said it, and it's live. Right, folks, we've seen it on the first game of week 6. We've already got a bet on. I've not seen Coach Russ that happy.
Oh, brilliant. And the hat, Lee. You got to wear the hat. You got to go.
I'll wear the hat.
You got to represent properly. It's the only way to go.
I've never wanted the Eagles to lose even more.
Right, yeah, mate. Steve, just to confirm, Steve, are you backing the Giants now?
I think I might have to change it just for that.
Okay, Sammy, I'll amend that.
Let's do it.
That's getting amended. Okay, we're on to the next game, which is more than likely going to be the game of the week. And it's in London as well. We've got the goddamn Jets against the Denver Broncos. I've backed the Denver Broncos, of course. So 92% of the public. The other 8%, clearly drinking far too much liquor, have backed the Jets. Lee, we're going to go for you first here, mate. Who are you backing?
Let's just put it this way: the Jets are at the bottom of the power rankings,
bad, and it's mental.
Yes. Where is the defense this year? Where is their defense? If Broncos don't put at least 30 points on them, then there's something wrong.
If there's any week,
if there's any week
for for anyone who doesn't know, we've got like a little fantasy football league that we've made. We're going to publish it next year. We'll do a publish. We're kind of like doing tests for this year. Anyway, me being me, my starting team is all Denver Broncos players. If there's any week for me to win, it is this week.
Okay. Next week you're screwed.
Right, Steve, who are you backing here, mate?
Yeah, I've gone Broncos. I'm going to ask how on earth you think it's going to be the game of the week. I don't think it is. It might be for you, but it's not. Also, are you going?
No, mate. So I'm working. So right,
because some live feedback
because it was my last season playing, and I'm in a very well paid job. I'm very, very happy with my job. But I work Sundays, so I've used like 8 holidays this year, going games, playoff games, and stuff like that. Let me just get Lee back on the stream, but he's going back to the bottom. So it's hard for me to like just get it off. I wish it was, mate. Next season, if they do one, sound. But I only got into this position in January. I've been trying 4 years to get in. So no, mate, I'm not, and I'm gutted because I've been through a few games before, and it's just a brilliant experience. I encourage anyone, if they can go to the States and experience the States version of it, it's just brilliant. When you're at the Mile High Stadium, and when we scored, I didn't realise there was flamethrowers all like around the stadium. So on fire, you know. There's other things to it, you know. It's the pre-game part of it, drinking beers in the car park and all that. Yeah, but no, mate, I'm not. Right, moving on. Coach Russ, who are you backing here, mate?
Well, the Broncos, hands down. I'll just briefly say the Jets are having a horrendous time, even worse than the Giants. And I did see very quickly there was a post put out where there was a suggestion that the Giants and the Jets need to get out of New York. They're not good enough to play in the NFL and play in the CFL.
I agree on this. So, like, for me, I think it's horrendous that the punishment that you get for finishing bottom of the whole franchise is to get a number 1 draft pick. I think if they made it where, like, even the team that like was you know, like the bottom team from like each half of the league had to play like a team, you know, in like a relegation promotion game, I think that would be brilliant. Because, you know, obviously Lee made his bold prediction, which I thought was a great prediction before. It might have been Lee, it might have been someone else, saying that all these European places they're going to, they're going to make like a European league, and you know, that aspect of it. But even that merged into one team. Look, I mean, I know Jets and Giants fans will be like, "You what?" But they've been awful for that long now. It's boring.
It can't happen. The history of well, especially the Giants, goes back so far.
Yeah,
it just won't happen. It can't. It won't happen.
Yeah.
So,
but you look at but for me, because like college football is obviously a massive thing. Does New York need 2 teams? So do the Jets need to move somewhere else? I don't know. Something needs to happen. Right.
What if they did what the Steelers and the Eagles did, and just become the Steagles for one random season and see if that helps?
I don't think that would work, mate. Especially with them fan bases. Right. I'm looking at the watch here. We've got 10 minutes to go through quite a lot of teams, so we're just going to skip a few. So I'll say your name. I'll say the results. I'll say your name. Say who you think, and we'll go through it. Okay. So 90% of the public have backed the Jags to beat the Seahawks. I'm going for the Jags. Steve?
Jags.
Russ?
Jags.
Lee?
Jags.
Okay.
Full house, baby.
Next one should be dead easy because they're absolutely awful. The Dolphins are at home to the Chargers. 80% of the public have backed the Chargers. Is anyone daft and backing the Dolphins?
Apparently 20% of the public, yeah.
Yeah, well, they're daft. I don't know. They're most probably the same. They're most probably the same percentage as the people that backed the Jets this week and backed the Eagles last week. They're daft. Right. So no one's backing the Dolphins. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. This next one, again, we're going to skip through it, and to do me head in because I want them to be better. The Ravens at home against the Rams. 70% of the public have backed the Rams. Lee, who are you backing here?
Rams.
Coach Russ?
Rams.
Steve?
Rams.
I'm sorry, boys. I'm going to back the Ravens.
There's still no Lamar Jackson yet.
I know, mate, but I don't know. Listen, I had this feeling in week 1 when the Chiefs got beat in Brazil. So, not to remind you, Steve. Right. Next one. Colts against the Cardinals. 84% of the public have backed the Colts. Lee?
Yeah, I'm going with the Colts as well.
Coach Russ?
Yeah, I'm going Colts.
And Steve?
Yeah, I'm going Colts, and it might be the Cards first, not less than 1 possession loss.
Yeah, I'm going to back the Colts. They've looked really good, even though they've been jammy in a certain game. Okay, on to the next one. Panthers against the Cowboys. Look, 90% of the public have backed the Cowboys. Does anyone think the Panthers have a chance?
Nope.
Nope, we're moving on. Okay, right. This one I think is going to be an interesting game. Are they going to wear the horrible kit? Are they going to wear this less horrible kit? The Saints against the Patriots. 80% of the public have backed the Patriots. And I'm going to start off and I'm going to back the Saints. I think if there was any perfect game for them to play next, it's this. I know the Patriots won last week, but they've not by any means been great. We've seen in football teams with momentum, they can carry a little bit of it. I just fancy the Saints at home. I know Steve's offended. Steve, we're going to go for you next. Who are you thinking, mate?
Yeah, I've just said Pats. They've just beat the Bills. The Saints haven't done anything impressive. They haven't looked amazing, have they?
No, but that week against the win against the Giants last week, I thought the Giants were going to slap them. We all did. 96% of the public, the 4% of the public, Coach Russ and his mates, they backed the Giants, and the 4% of the public, not Coach Russ. Yeah, I don't know. Coach Russ, who are you backing?
I'm not backing the Saints, that's for sure. So, yeah, no, I'm not backing the Saints. Yeah, I'm going with the other team for sure. Yeah, no, we handed.
Are they like Voldemort? Do you not want to say their name?
Huh?
Are they like Voldemort? The Patriots. Do you not want to say their name?
No. It's just that I'm just not liking the Saints at the moment, and it's not really their fault. It's because we gave them the bloody ball 4 times. So sorry, I'm still stewing on it a little bit.
Yeah, the comment there from Ben. The Saints are god awful. So is their kit, mate. It is the worst kit I've ever seen in my life. Oh, yeah, we've got another one here from Ben. The Jets are proof that high draft picks don't necessarily lead to success. That is a brilliant comment.
Yeah.
Lee, we're going to go to you for some words of wisdom, mate. Who are you thinking here, mate?
Well, I know Ben Lowe's is actually a Falcons fan, so that's probably why he's said that about the goddamn Saints. But yeah, for this game, I think it's just going to be a Patriots.
Okay,
I mean, it's going to be close, but I think the Patriots are going to win it.
Okay, right. We're gonna go quickly on this next one. We've got a bit of an echo. I don't know who that's coming from. So we've got the Steelers and the Browns. 73% of the public are backing the Steelers. I'm going to back the Steelers as well. Go through it quickly. Coach Russ.
Steelers.
Lee.
Steelers.
Steve.
Steelers.
Your camera's quiet again there, buddy. Right. So the next one we'll skip. I think this one's going to be an interesting game, even though they're both pretty awful. The next one, we've got the Raiders against the Titans. 80% of the public have backed the Titans. Do I agree with that? Yeah, I'm going to back the Titans. Coach Russ?
Titans, and I've seen a funny meme for the Raiders this week.
Please send me it.
I will send it to you.
Thank you.
Definitely. It's not rude, but it's great.
Lee?
I'm gonna go for the Raiders.
What are you doing?
Do you know what? I'm doing it just to annoy you. I couldn't care who wins this game.
Yeah, it's not a great game, is it?
I'm just going to go for Raiders because I think they'd probably due a win around about now.
It's not a charity; it's NFL.
Yeah, I don't
All
know.
right, we're moving on. Steve, who are you backing here?
I hate myself for picking the Raiders.
What?
Yep.
Oh,
Geno
mate,
Smith has thrown 8 interceptions. He's going to have to stop at some point. Why not against the Titans, who aren't really anything in a minute?
No. I'll tell you what, you two are both wrong. You're both absolute fools. I pity you. Right, on to the next one. We're gonna we are very low for time, so we're gonna skip a few of them. We got the Bucks against the 49ers. 60% of the public have backed the Bucks. Me being a Lancashire Buccaneer for my last season, I'm also gonna back the Bucks. Coach Russ.
Bucks.
Lee.
Yeah, the Bucks are unstoppable.
Well, far like Steve.
Bucks, but I think this has a chance of being a game of the week. 49ers keep bringing it somehow.
Oh, Coach Russ, I'm going to display a comment here. Are you ready?
Go on.
Russ, aka the Silver Fox.
They're not wrong. Thank you for that.
Oh. Unfortunately, we're not copyrighted for any music, otherwise we'd have a bit of Marvin Gaye and all that on. Okay. So we've got everyone's pick for the Bucks and 49ers, correct? I think so. Next one, Packers versus Bengals. Very quickly again, this is the perfect game for Packers to get back on track. Oh, we've got another comment from Coach. Does this guy owe you money?
I know who it is. He's a very long.
Is he your hype guy, by the way? Because
absolutely, yes, he is. Yeah.
We have when I was at Buccaneers, I want to be dead quick here because we're going to run over, but it's fine. When I was at Buccaneers, the first home game we played, I'd never met this guy before, and he was our hype guy. He was shouting stuff like 49, your laces are inside. They look down, we're like, wait! Literally, every team needs a hype guy. No matter how good or how bad you are, every team needs a hype guy. Just someone who's an absolute gob. Yeah, I'm not saying Lucifer is. I'm sure he's a lovely guy, but anyway. So Packers or Bengals? Bengals have a QB now. Is it going to be good enough? I don't think so. I'm going to back the Packers. Steve, how are the 8-0 Packers going to do this week, mate?
Well, at this point, I forgot what score. What they 6-2-1?
2-1-1. 2-1-1.
Yeah, but for if they win the rest of them.
Oh,
I'm still keeping it going.
Right, so I've got to be quick. Are you picking the Packers?
Yeah, I don't think Joe Flacco's going to do enough this week.
Okay. Lee?
Yeah, the Packers are off a bye week. They're going to be refreshed. They're going to go for it.
Okay. Coach Russ?
Yeah, Packers all day.
Okay. Right. Interesting one. We're short on time, folks, but we're going to have to talk about the Chiefs against the Lions. 80% of the public have backed the Lions to beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs are home. What the hell? I do think the Chiefs have a really hard bunch of fixtures coming up. And I think this is going to be the difference between where they're going to finish at the end of the season, because there's some cracking games coming up. So I picked the Lions this week. Coach Russ?
Yeah, I picked the Lions as well. But it's going to be a close game. It is going to be a close game. Your
friend Lucifer, I am a gobshite. Scary bit is I'm a referee. Even worse. Worse. You're like the... I'm not getting into it. No, I love refs. I think referees...
I bribed him once, many years ago.
Don't say that, because that will come back on you.
He's just on my case all the time now. He's like my best mate.
Do you know what? I think refs, for what they put up with, they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Right, Lee?
Yeah, I mean, the Lions are number 2 in my power rankings, and they're in number 1 in some other people's power rankings I've seen. So, yeah, the Lions are going to demolish the Chiefs again.
Steve?
How about those? We're going to do it. Come on.
Okay.
There's someone else safe.
Okay. How the mighty have fallen. Falcons versus the Bills. 80% of the public have backed the Bills to beat the Falcons. I've also backed the Bills to come back from that one last week. Steve?
Yeah, Bills here. No question.
Lee?
Yeah, Bills for me.
Coach Russ?
Yeah, Bills.
Okay, and then the last one. This is the closest voted one by the public. Commanders against the Bears. 55% of the public have backed the Commanders. The Commanders are on a bit of a comeback. However, I'm still going to pick the Bears this week. I liked what I seen last week from a team that I thought were really awful for most of the season. So we're going to go Coach Russ.
Yeah, I've chosen that. I did pick the Bears. I think they're going to have a bit of a breakout game this one.
Yeah,
I think they're going to get it together and lay it down onto the Commanders. Yeah,
lay off the smackdown. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Lee.
I've gone Commanders. I think they've got the QB back. They're getting the mojo back. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Commanders are going to edge it.
Last but by no means least, Steve.
Yeah, I've gone Commanders. I quite like their squad. I think they need a bit of a step up in defense, but I'm going Commanders on this one.
We've got a few comments. I'm just going to go through them. Lucifer, Bears, or holding 10 yards. Okay.
He's a Bears fan. He's a Bears fan.
I don't know who Ben Lowe supports, but he's put 80% of the public are wrong. So I'm assuming that's either the Chiefs.
He's the Falcons. He's a Falcons fan.
He's a Falcons fan. Listen, no one's perfect. Seek help. You'll be fine, mate. I mean, look, I'm a Bronco fan. I'm as close to it as you get. So, just take that on the chin. So, yeah, looking forward to some games in week 6. We've got more games than we did last week by 1. Every game counts. Coach Russ, how have you found it?
Oh, great! Thank you for having me on the show. It's been some laughs and
we'll have to get you on in a playoff season, because what I would love to hear from you because playoffs is less games, there's more time we can talk. I'd love to know some stories. I'm sure you've seen some brilliant initiations, some absolute funny stories. I'd love to get that out of you in the playoffs. So get some stories ready for us for when you come back on, when the Broncos.
The list is long, Matteo. The list is long.
Yeah, honestly, some of the stuff I've seen, I can believe it. Any plans for the week, folks? 30 seconds. Steve, got any plans this week, mate?
No, but if I got 30 seconds, I do want to discuss that I think that the NFL needs to bring grass back, because these turf injuries are getting ridiculous now.
Okay.
Wanted to say it for weeks, but yeah, need to get grass back out.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate, let's have a good chat about that one next week. Yeah. Lee, any plans?
No, nothing much. I've got a Veterans Breakfast Club coming up this weekend. That's always good to meet up with some old vets. But yeah, just
travelling to mine to pick up my jersey. That's what Elsie's going to be doing.
Yes. We've got a comment. £20 for your silence for us. So we want all the stories on Lucifer. I'm working. I'm going to be watching the football Sunday night. I'm more than likely going to watch Channel 5's coverage and checking my phone on the sly with the Denver Broncos. Listen, folks, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate every single one who's coming to watch us again at the Audible. We're going to try this properly. Let's see if Coach Russ gets this. Okay. I've been Matteo.
I'm Coach Russ.
I'm Lee.
And I've been Steve.
We got it! Not only did we get it, but the Denver Broncos beat the Eagles. Just to remind Lee. Thank you very much, folks. We will see you next week.